one of the keys to the NFL's success is they don't have to rely on big markets. When you think about it, Green Bay, Kansas City, they can be as attractive as New York or L.A. But there is one team that I'm sure the NFL and the commissioner and the other owners would prefer to be competitive, and that's the Cowboys, because they play nationally. After all, they're America's team. But now, looking at another season, not making the playoffs, and that frustrates everyone in Dallas and should provide plenty of content for a media and national fan base that loves talking about the Cowboys, whether they win or lose. And watching last night, they wanted to showcase Amari Cooper, and Cooper did okay, had 5 catches, had a touchdown. But, it still comes back to this. I'm watching Dak Prescott. He had an interception and a lost fumble last night. That's the 10th game since the start of last season with multiple turnovers. That's tied for the most in the NFL. And some teams you can get by on making those kind of mistakes. But these aren't even aggressive mistakes. Dallas's offense lacks any kind of imagination. And if I have that kind of talent, and granted, you didn't have that number 1 wide receiver, and maybe Amari Cooper's a number 1 wide receiver. But you have that running back. You still have a good offensive line. It's not as great as it's been, but the defense played well. You got a pass rush there. It comes back to Jason Garrett and that offense. It feels like, comes back to that. What are you showcasing? How often do you showcase that? Look at, there's offenses that evolve. The Saints evolved. Drew Brees was throwing the ball all over the field, but they evolved into how do we become great? Not just we have a great quarterback, we have to evolve. Tom Brady has evolved with his offense. Every year it feels like he has different pieces. Now what do we do with those pieces? Dallas needs to evolve because in this pass-happy league, you got to have weapons and you got to have a quarterback and you got to have some creativity there that you can just count on every game. But at some point you have to say, who is the problem? I know Jerry's the problem. Jerry, the GM, is the problem. And maybe Jerry, the owner, can be a problem. As brilliant as he is as a businessman, he can't stay out of the way of everybody else doing their job. And Jason Garrett probably makes moves. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you were afraid to make a move because somebody was watching you and you knew you were going to get critiqued. And maybe that's the feeling that Jason has. But, with 8 games to go, I would say that if you don't win, if you don't make the playoffs, how do you keep your job? But he's kept his job. I don't know why this would be different. Paulie, you have the schedule for the Cowboys?
I don't know if Cowboys fans want to hear this. At the Eagles, at the Falcons, Redskins, Saints, Eagles.
Okay.
Those are 5 competitive teams, very competitive teams.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just trying to figure out, like what's going on.
It's over, right? I mean, they can't. 3-5, I assume the odds are very bad.
Even if you go 5-3. All right, so you're 8-8 again.
You do finish with Colts, Buccaneers, Giants, and that's how, I hate to say this, Jason Garrett could save his job.
I know. Yeah, Fritzy.
Has the Dallas media recently just asked straight, flat out to Jerry Jones, why are you so convinced that Jason Garrett still should be the head coach of this team? Just to put him on the spot and say, like, so many people think he should have lost his job a while ago. Why is he still there?
I don't know if somebody's asked him that. If Jerry Jones would come on the show, I would ask him, what has Jason Garrett done to keep his job? I'm just curious. I would be curious what his answer would be. I mean, 2 playoff appearances in 9 years. This isn't the Cleveland Browns. This is Dallas. They spend money. They got, an unbelievable stadium, unbelievable fan base. I had the best offensive line perhaps we've seen in, decades. Dallas has everything but results. And that's the bottom line. As a businessman, Jerry Jones would not put up for this in business. But you're putting up with this with your football business. And that's what's surprising here. And I don't know if it's going to get any better. Dallas is always going to give you that glimmer of, oh, wow. Like I'm watching last night and you see, and I like Dak Prescott. I do. He's a great story. But at some point, you're gonna Come up with that D-Day, that decision day that says, just like Tampa's going to have, just like Tennessee's going to have, Dallas is going to have that, where they go, do we pay Dak Prescott that kind of money? Is he a franchise quarterback? Or do we wait and bring in somebody younger who's going to be cheaper, and then we take our chance again of a 5-year window? It feels like you either have your guy, or if you don't, then you're just waiting for the next guy to come in, and then you try to build around a rookie contract at that position. And, Dallas fans deserve better than this. I don't think there are too many people who are that sympathetic with Dallas fans, but I look at it and say, you got everything but results here. And, I know we overinflate Cowboys, how good they are. Or maybe we even look at it and say how bad they are. But this is a generation here. I mean, the Cowboys don't go one generation great, another generation not good at all. For, one of the historically great teams, great franchises, proud franchises.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.